So in 1953, my dad bought property in Wilmington at 425 Freeze, and he started a market, a grocery store. And my dad had that market from 1953 up until the late 70s. And then in the late 70s, he decided he was going to close it. It went from to an Hispanic family. They sold it to another Hispanic family. Then they sold it to a Korean man, and then they sold it to another Korean man who was running the store. His name is Mr. Lim. And unfortunately, some young girls did a beer run, and they weren't satisfied with just the beer. They pushed the gentleman. He hit his head on the curb, and he ended up in the hospital for 2 months. He, poor guy, was in intensive care for 6 weeks, and it was during COVID, and his family lived in Georgia. I was the landlord of the building there, so they consulted with me, and they were going to file bankruptcy. And I said, oh, could you please try to sell the business? We've had it here since the 50s. I would hate to see the business go, and you know. So they said, it's COVID, who's gonna buy it? And I said, I don't know. I said, but give me a price. I had a little bit of money, not a whole lot. So they actually wanted to give it to me. They really wanted just to hand it over here. I says, no, this is a business transaction. It's a liquor license, beer and wine. So we have to have there has to be a transaction, and we have to show that we, paid for it. So they came up with the price, and I consulted with my two daughters, and their eyes got big, and wow, we could open the store for how much money? And I told them, and Mom, let's do it. And we opened up the store, and we renamed it Sal's Market and Deli. Prior to that, when there was the other owners, it was known as the Guadalajara Market. But when my dad had it, it was Sal's Freeze Avenue Market. So here we are, all over again, Sal's Market and Deli. We're trying to build it up to help people. There are, neighbors, a lot of poverty in the neighborhood, even though we have so many longshoremen in Wilmington. There's so much poverty still, from one block to the next, from one house to the next. You got poverty, and then you've got an abundance of money. And so in our store, we just try to be very friendly with everybody. It takes a lot of time and devotion to the traffic coming in, the people coming in, the homeless coming in. And how do you say no to a homeless when you know they're hungry and they pull out of their pockets filthy, dirty money, and they don't have enough to even buy a Coke? How do you say no? So my daughter says, well, if you feel the inkling to buy them a Coke or buy them a beer or buy them a soda, put it on your tab. So there I am, put it on my tab. But that's what we do for our neighbors. But anyway, with the store, Sal's Market, I think my life has come a full circle. I have times of nostalgic where I'm there and I set the music to 1963 or 1964, and it takes me back to that time of my life. But it's such a good feeling. I'm like, wow. It's like, God, this was meant to be. This was really meant to be, me here in this store and putting my dad's name out there again, because he used to help everybody in the neighborhood. My dad passed away, and the people who called me and texted me, and the people that came into the store because they heard of my father's death and wanted to give thanks and praise because of all the help he did for them back in the 60s and 70s. And so that was and anyway, I'm just so happy that my daughters and I are able to, and we're able to keep the market open. And we just hope that one day we'll make some money and continue it and keep it going.